College flashpoint coming. You ain't really saying nothing. Tap in and hear something. Tap in and hear something. College flashpoint coming. You ain't really saying nothing. Tap in and hear something. Tap in and hear something, yeah. College flashpoint coming. Tap in and hear something. You ain't really saying nothing. You ain't really saying nothing. What's happening, everybody? It is the College Flashpoint, man. It's episode 1. I'm excited to have everybody tune in, tap in, get in any way you can get in. I know it's late. It's a Friday night. Everybody's supposed to be out, but we're in the middle of a quarantine. So the best time to catch y'all is on Friday night in the house. Staying safe. I want to introduce you guys to my co-host, Terrence Carmarty. Terrence, what's up, my man?
What's up, man? Appreciate it, man. having me on, man. Like I say always, man.
You don't have to do that no more. You the co-host, bro. You don't have to do that. You the co-host now, so you don't have to be happy. I'm happy that you came on with me, man. You made this a lot easier for me to get on here and do my thing, man. So for y'all, this is the first episode, man, of the College Flashpoint. Man, you come here for us to get all your stuff, all your college news, all your top recruits. If you got a pro team, regardless if it's basketball, NBA, if it's football, NFL, if it's NHL, if it's college baseball, anything, you can get it from us. We got it all. And we coming with the smoke, bro. Are you ready though?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Hey, man, you ain't excited like I am. I'm super excited.
I'm ready, man. You see the smile on my face, man. I'm kind of down from being a Buckeyes fan, but other than that,
hey, you had a good season, bro. Good season. But I got some news for you, though. Breaking news, man. Urban Meyer, your old coach, man. He's taking over the Jags. How do you feel about it?
I feel pretty good, man. Just thinking about it, he's gonna get most likely he's gonna get Trevor Lawrence. I'm still thinking he might shock the world and take Justin Fields. But I think he's gonna take Trevor Lawrence. He's good with quarterbacks in college. If you think about it, first starting off, I think he started off, if I'm not mistaken, at
Bowling Green.
Yeah, Bowling Green. That's what I was gonna say. But Utah, you think about Utah, Alex Smith. He groomed him.
Yep.
NFL quarterback, good average quarterback, gets you to playoffs. He takes you to the Super Bowl. Basically, I feel like if he has the right pieces, so he thinking about going into college, winning at Florida, winning at Ohio State, 3 national championships. I think he's number 3 all time in winning percentages over in college or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's correct.
So he has a winning mentality. There's talks about how he grooms his players. Even though he'll be in the NFL, but grooming players could be like just Trevor Lawrence coming in, or when the people he draft. He's good at working with college players, so when they come out to draft, he'll be good, to talk and get that relationship with them. So I think it'll be a pretty good one, man. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, man. I am what's crazy is that we got some comments already coming in. So for everybody that's checking in, Dan Green, what's up, man? I'm glad to be on board. What's good, Al? He's another part of it. Let's go, Michael Joe. What's going on, y'all? We're gonna be bringing the heat all night. So y'all, So to just follow that up, just real quick before we get too deep into the comments, Urban Meyer, great hire for 2 reasons. One, like you said, he can develop talent coming right out of college. It is hard to motivate people that are already millionaires. We all know that when these guys come out of college, they start making their first couple million. It's hard to motivate pros because if you're not pushing for a championship every year, then it's hard to motivate pros. We're seeing the same thing in Houston and places like that. Like they really don't have the talent. They're not pushing for any type of rings or anything, so they're just playing for their respect. And you only got a couple guys on that roster for the Texans. There's only got J.J. Watt, and seems like Deshaun Watson want to win. So when you got that going on, you got kind of like a hard time. So I think with Urban Meyer, he will be able to push on some of those younger players to come in. And I do think, like you said, something that was very, very big. Let's say he doesn't take Trevor Lawrence. Let's say he goes a completely different route and he goes and grabs Justin Fields. It's not a bad pick. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be the first. You hear it here first from a Clemson fan. Justin Fields is not a bad pick in today's NFL because he can move with his legs and he can throw the ball. And the thing about it is, with a little bit of confidence, working with another coach that already knows him, basically recruited him in theory because he was still helping.
Yeah, when he was in Georgia, he recruited him. Yeah.
He was an advisor for Ohio State. So he recruited, when he came on board, he was a big integral part of that Ohio State team, regardless if he was the coach or not. He's still really close with Ryan Day. And let's be real about this. People need to understand about the college draft and all this stuff in colleges. The college players, if you want to find out what your NFL team is going to look like, you got to watch some college film. You got to know who these guys are coming out of college, because a lot of people think these picks are bad, and they're really not. The picks are actually really good picks. It's just nobody knows who they are because they're coming right out of college. So without further ado, man, we're going to jump onto something new, man. It's crazy. We got some more people checking in. We got Jason Sullivan. What's up, fellas? Welcome to the team, man. We're glad to be on the team.
Definitely.
That's what I'm saying. All this love, man. I don't know. I'm starting to feel some type of way, I'm starting to feel some type of. So draft, we're going to jump right into the draft. So we are here at the, College Flashpoint. We love to try to talk about the draft. We want to talk about the top players, but we got to talk about something first that just happened last week. And I know you don't want to talk about it because these your boys. I know you don't want to talk about it, but let's talk about the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Ohio State Buckeyes. We geared up to get a really good game. We geared up to watch two Titans go at each other. And it didn't end up panning out that way. What are your thoughts on the game? You're a Buckeye fan. You're an irrational fan now. You're not Cromartie you're not that guy. You're an irrational fan.
My first thought is Sean Wade. You ask what you ask what you get. You wish the guard that you wish the guard the Heisman, and you got your wish. And he basically beat us simultaneously. Like he basically beat us by himself. Like, he asked what he got his wish. I hate to bring, Dabo in here, but just like anytime, if you're looking at it these last couple of weeks, anytime you talk smack from NFL, if you think about Juju talking about the Browns, Dabo talking about Ohio State, Sean Wade talking about Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith.
That it's karma. It's karma. Like, and I just feel like we was unmatched. I mean, I do feel like Trey Sermon going out, it did play a factor because we could have kept him off the field if Sermon was running the ball. Because I'm looking at T, like, why was he even starting over Sermon? Because when he got in the game, it was looking like what's going on? And then Justin Fields, I mean, I think the rib injury did kind of bother him. I mean, you could say, he didn't feel it, but I think he probably was hesitant about – I really think he was hesitant about getting hit. And because he really didn't take a lot of runs, if you think. He had some runs, and he did get good yardage out of them.
But he ran out. Normally he would – my thing is with Justin Fields is what makes Justin Fields so dangerous is that it's the same thing with Jalen Hurts. Like, they will take off, and they're not looking for the sideline. They're not looking to slide. They're looking to run you over. Like, that's what they're looking to do. They're looking to do damage. So when you're looking at Justin Fields, if you take that part of his game away from him, kind of like a Michael Vick or a Lamar Jackson, you take the legs from them, they become one-dimensional, and that one dimension isn't good enough to win a game behind because they need that other part of their game to be what's the word I'm looking for? To be effective. To be effective, they need their legs. And it's no slight against Justin Fields. It's just like when you make him one dimensional, he only got to go to Chris Olavia because he's kind of like in the big tight end y'all got. He's all they got. But I really want to say this real quick because I know we talking about Ohio State, but it needs to be said that this Alabama team, this current one that they got, in my opinion, is probably one of the most dangerous offensive Alabama teams that I've ever seen. And it's
the best Alabama team.
Yes, that's probably very true. And I'm saying that to say this. The last 3 years for college has been Clemson. You had that won the championship. They demolished Alabama in the 17. Then you have The next year, LSU come, demolish Clemson and Natty. Then Alabama just did it, and they demolished y'all in Natty. So now, the only thing I can think is maybe y'all next. Maybe y'all next in the next year to demolish whoever y'all play against in the Natty. Because a lot of times people don't really understand that these teams are groomed to be this good all year. Like the 4 teams that we talking about are blue blood, is what I would say. Now, a lot of teams don't want to consider Clemson a blue blood because they just got there, but Clemson's going to be there next year. And the only way they're not there next year is if somehow, some way, North Carolina and Matt Brown do something so dramatic and knock Clemson out of it. But that's the only team that can do it, because I do foresee Notre Dame leaving. Notre Dame is gone.
I don't consider Notre Dame. I don't consider them a blue blood. You can take them out.
Yeah, they've been pretty crappy coming in the last couple of years. So I'm not gonna give them status right now. I'm gonna take Notre Dame status and add it to Clemson. I think we deserve it. We've been there enough. We've given enough butt whoopings, and we've got enough butt whoopings to where we can take it. And to double your point, man. Like, yeah, these teams don't need any extra motivation to beat you. They just don't. So if you give them any type of bulletin board stuff, like, you're going to get it. Like, you're going to get your butt whooped because these teams are coached very well. Ohio State with Ron Day, extremely good offensive team, especially if you give them some type of motivation. Give those big offensive linemen no reason to let their guy get touched. Like, Sermon didn't get touched for the first 15 yards against Clemson because they were just pushing us back so far, hitting us in the mouth. So, to be honest, man, Devontae Smith put on the show. He is the Heisman. He is that dude. He is that good. He is exactly what they advertised. Period. The Slim Reaper is that dude, and he's probably going to raise hell going forward. So we got some questions. So we're going to hit the next segment, man, real quick. The next segment. All right, so we got some questions coming in, man. We're going to hit some of these questions real quick just to kind of get some of these off the board. So we got Al said, okay, first question is, if we can get P. Surtain at 6, what's the best cornerback we can do for the Eagles? I'm going to take it first, and then I'll let you get it. So with Patrick Surtain, he's already kind of that guy. He kind of reminds me of a Kuda from last year, kind of that lockdown guy. He definitely can give you some, definitely give you vibes of a shutdown corner. He give you those type of vibes. I would have said it was Wade until Wade got completely demolished, and he was ranked higher on my big board, which we're gonna go through in a little bit. But he had dropped. So Surtain is definitely the first cornerback I think that's going to be taken. Or any of the corners from normally Florida State has a pretty good corner, but they've been getting torched the last couple of years. So I would say, if in my heart of hearts, I would take Surtain first. He's coming from a family that's already been kind of he's already kind of used to the NFL lifestyle. So if I'm your friend and I'm your GM, I'm taking Surtain if I'm taking a cornerback for first. What you got?
Just like you were saying, definitely take Surtain at 6. I'd definitely take him first. I don't feel like I think he's gonna go to I feel like for some reason he's gonna go to the Cowboys. I keep thinking that in my mind. He's gonna drop the 10 because I feel like they need DBs. I'm pulling something up. I haven't really watched him, but they're talking about Caleb Farley from Virginia Tech.
Yeah, but the only problem with Caleb Farley is Farley don't have the foot speed that Surtain got. Surtain can see, the thing with Surtain is people don't really understand. He'll hit you. He can play in coverage, and he's got quicks. And
but he was asking if they take Surtain, who would be the next cornerback coming off.
Right, but I'm saying I don't really see this. I guess it's Wade. There's not a whole lot of, it's not a corner heavy draft. Like, it just isn't.
I don't even think they have Wade in he'd probably be bottom tier, man, because he got embarrassed. He got embarrassed against y'all. If you look at the tape, even though y'all wide receivers not like
no.
Yeah, so but your guy, I think number 17, I forgot the name.
Powell.
I think he was burning him. He was smoking him.
Well, that's because he's stronger than him. He's and then Powell like 30 years old, bro. Like, a lot of people don't understand this. Like, Powell is like a 5th-year senior.
He do look huge.
He huge. Like, I mean, dude is a grown man. He got like 3 kids, bro. Like, he ain't no normal college player. But I will say Wade to me, Wade didn't look slow. He looked slow against Devontae Smith because Devontae Smith is so fast.
Yeah.
But really, stride for stride, he's probably just as quick. It's just the speed on Devontae Smith is so big. Like the gap that he creates with his route tree is ridiculous. Like it's hard to watch him because you already know. So then I got another comment saying, then Trevor has to go number 1. He can move, obviously, and play in the pocket. Okay, so my thought process about Trevor Lawrence, as a Clemson fan, as an irrational Clemson fan, I think Trevor Lawrence is the best thing since sliced bread. Except he's not better than Deshaun Watson. And that's my personal opinion. No Clemson fans come after me. That's just my personal opinion. In the clutch, not to say that Trevor Lawrence is, not as talented or he doesn't have a higher upside because he's bigger, but if I had a chance to go win a game and I only got one possession and I got to pick a Clemson quarterback, I'm picking Deshaun Watson every time and twice on Sunday. Just because I know what he can do. I know that he is not fazed by the moment. Trevor Lawrence really isn't either, but in big games, I've seen him crap the bed a couple times, especially against LSU. He didn't play a great game. He didn't play a great game against you guys. And that's not all of his fault. We talked about this before, that some of this part of Trevor Lawrence, they didn't give against Ohio State. They didn't give themselves a good chance to win because you can't keep going 3 and out, and expecting to win. They never, when y'all stocked up on 3 and outs, like Dabo never decided to go for it on 4th until the game was out of hand. So, I'm not going to be irrational about it. That's just my personal opinion about Clemson and Trevor Lawrence. He is a great quarterback. He will probably do Jacksonville some really good well. He probably will be a Hall of Famer one day. It's just that if I had to take him or Deshaun Watson, I'm taking Deshaun Watson. Would you agree?
Well, I mean, I agree on that, but from Dan, I would definitely take Trevor at number 1. Like I was stating, Urban Meyer, he's good with quarterbacks. I was bringing on Alex Smith, good quarterback, good innocent, like good system quarterback. I think Trevor probably has a more. Well, Alex Smith did go number 1 overall when he did come out. So, I mean, just being able to work with Alex Smith and having him come out at number 1, I think Trevor's the best pick.
So you're not gonna take it? Are you not gonna take consideration that he also had Tim Tebow?
Who?
Huh? Who? Yeah, Tim Tebow.
Yeah, but
Tim Tebow
where was he at? Where was he at in the draft? 20 something, 22?
I don't know. I think Tim Tebow was drafted higher than that. He went to the Jets. I think he went to the Jets first, didn't he?
Thought he went to no, he wasn't ranked higher than that. No. Not
Listen, all I'm saying is if Urban Meyer was this quarterback guru you say he is, Tim Tebow would have been ready, draft ready to hit the road and go.
I mean, it all depends. It all depends on who you speak of, though, because I'm like, if Alex Smith,
Broncos,
yeah, Alex Smith looked better than I don't know. He looked better than Tim Tebow coming out. He had
Tim Tebow won the Heisman, bro.
What does that mean?
What you mean? What does that mean?
I'm just saying, what does that mean?
There's no higher award in college football than the Heisman.
Did Reggie Bush win the Heisman?
Reggie Bush didn't have all that great of an NFL career either.
Okay, and Tim. So I mean, what are we talking about? Matt Leinart, did he win the Heisman?
Hey man, all right. You got a point. You got a point.
Yeah, he went 25. He went 25. Tim Tebow to the Broncos. That's what he had. I know he ain't going. I knew he didn't go in the top 20. But
so I get what you're saying. You got a point, man. I can't argue that. You made a good point. God, you killed me on that one because I really was about to say he coached Tim Tebow too, but I guess it is what it is. So we're gonna jump into something. I don't want to cut y'all, but we're gonna jump into something real crazy, man. This is my big board. So before anybody get mad, take offense to any of this, this is my big board. It's not Mel Kiper's big board. It's not Dan Orlovsky. It's not none of these guys on ESPN. It's none of their big boards. It's not what's my man name? Shannon Sharp big board. This is mine. Mine. If you do not like it, that doesn't mean it's going to be drafted this way. It's just in my mind. I think this is what I think they're going to go. All right, that is the disclaimer. You've been disclaimed. Don't get on here talking crazy because this is what I think. All right. Oracle's big board. So Oracle's big board, I have Trevor Lawrence going number 1. Penei Sewell going number 2. I got Zach Wilson going 3. I got Justin Fields going 4. Devontae Smith going 5. Jamar Chase going 6. And Micah Parsons going 7. And you can read the rest. Somebody does have Caleb Farley going number 9, though. So that probably would make him the first one off the board.
Yeah.
I don't know why, though, because I saw him get torched. But, I don't know how they got him. Where's they got Surtain at then?
They got Surtain at number 8 up here.
Okay. So they got Surtain going before him. All right. So you can see this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So in my heart of hearts, because I can't now, because I got it pulled up big, I can't. Let me see if we got any comments. All right. All right. Give me a pick at number 38, second round. We need LBs. Man, and hold on, I'm gonna put that one up. A pick at 38. They need linebackers. Really, to be honest, the best linebacker in the thing is Micah Parsons.
And that's ain't going second round.
No, he's not going second round. I'm just saying, like, that's the best one to me. So at that point, any of them could be. They got a good linebacker from y'all had a good linebacker. The big stocky white kid. You see, he kind of put me in mind of Bosa.
Okay, 42.
42. We got a weird number to be on defense.
Yeah.
So on my big board, I'm gonna explain the reasons why people are where they are. All right. So give me the draft. Give me the draft order, Cromartie. I know it's number 1 is Jags. 2 is
Jags, Jets,
3
Miami.
is 4 is Atlanta.
4 is Atlanta. 5 is Bengals.
Okay.
6 is Eagles. 7 is Detroit. 9 is Carolina, and 10 is Cowboys. Sorry. 8 is Carolina, 9 is Broncos, and 10 is Cowboys.
Okay. So my big board was made when I first made it. I was in the understanding that the Eagles were going to be 6. So with that being said, I'm going to make some changes. Carolina needs a quarterback. So I do believe that Carolina is taking Mac Jones. So there will be one. There'll be one change to that because I don't really think that Lance is that great of a player. Me personally, these mid-major quarterbacks do pretty decent in the NFL, but as we can see, with some current changes, because he's in North Dakota State, right?
Yeah,
that's the same place that Carson Wentz came from.
Okay,
so
what you saying?
My personal opinion about the quarterbacks that come out of if you look at the big Power 5 quarterbacks, they're already used to a lot of scrutiny. So Justin Fields, since he was a young pup in Atlanta or Georgia, he was taking scrutiny because he came out in the same class as Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
So he's used to that comparison. He's used to that scrutiny. What we're seeing now in the NFL is a lot of these mid-major quarterbacks, when it comes down to competition, having to play for a position, they don't want the competition. So are you ready for me to explain? I know you got that look on your face.
I want you to explain Josh Allen for me.
Okay. Josh Allen is not the rule. He is the exception because he's gritty. But what I'm going to say, I'm going to use Carson Wentz for example. All right. So I'm going to use him for example for all you Eagles fans so you guys can understand what I'm saying. When it comes time for competition, and I'm not sure if it's just in his particular case, but when it comes down to competition, he has not wanted competition with anyone. The same thing with where did Favre go to school?
I have to pull that up.
So we'll just use Aaron Rodgers. Where did Aaron Rodgers go to school? You know,
he went
Cal, right? He Cal, right?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Eastern.
He's Cal University.
Yeah.
So Cal. So a lot of these quarterbacks that come from the bigger Power 5 schools, they not only are okay with the competition, but they've already had to be in competition their entire careers. Look at Justin Fields. Like, hey, look at so I'll use this as a perfect example. Tua and Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts got his position taken by somebody. And instead of running to the next school, he stayed there in a whole nother year to get that tutelage from Nick Saban. Most kids would have ran. They would have got out of Dodge. Look at the kid from Clemson. The kid from Clemson, Bryce, he left Clemson, but he stayed until he was a grad transfer because he wanted the tutelage. He wanted to play under Trevor Lawrence. Went off to Duke, had a decent, well, maybe not decent, but okay year without Clemson. But that's
same with Barrow, if I'm not mistaken. I think Barrow did the same thing with Ohio State.
Yeah. Look, he stayed this year. He waited till he was time for him to transfer. He transferred. These quarterbacks that don't want no competition, you don't want that in your organization. You don't want these guys these mid-major guys, you don't really want them if they're not the guy, because if they're the guy where they're at, like you're the guy at North Dakota State, and that's fine for me. You can be that guy. But once you get to a point where you got to go compete for that position and you're not used to the scrutiny because it's a small market school, like soon as you don't do good at Clemson or Ohio State or Alabama, they pull you because the fan base can't take it. They just get rid of you, or you have to play up to your like where you should be.
Yeah.
So why are they drafting these mid-major quarterbacks so high when they clearly have, like, I'm scared of the kid from BYU. I think he's going to be the same thing.
Who we talking about?
The kid from BYU. Hold on, I'll throw his name.
Look, the one that took Aaron. Ain't that Bryce? Ain't that Love?
Who you talking about? You talking about the guy from? No, Zach Wilson from BYU.
Oh, I'm talking. My bad.
So I'm taking Zach. So he confuses me because I'm not sure how he's going to stand up in the NFL. And not so much because of his size or anything like that, but it's just the simple fact that, like, you just don't know what you're going to get when you get a mid-major. You just don't know how it's going to turn out because those guys, it's a different situation. He's about 6'3", he's 210, but look at the size difference. Like, look, Justin Fields outweighs dude by 20 pounds. They the same size, but he outweighs him by 20 pounds. If you look at him, Justin Fields is built like a dang on running back. You know what I'm saying? He's built for it. And I know he's ready for competition. Justin Fields could have dipped out on Georgia because he knew he wasn't going to get to play. He kind of knew they was already going to screw him over, but he stayed. So what are we saying? Here we go. He said, Martin, is that fan base? Okay. So what's crazy is, all right, so my wife is making a big point. It's also about the fan base you go to. And I think these mid-major players, they can't deal with like a Philly or like a super demanding or Pittsburgh where super demanding. Even the Chiefs, look how the Chiefs act. If the Chiefs had Alex Smith, they got him up out of there, bro. It was like 1 year. All right, we ready for Patrick Mahomes. Let's go. Let's get him out of here. Like,
no, we killed Alex for a minute.
2 years?
No, he was in there. He was with us like 4 years. I think.
So after you drafted Patrick Mahomes.
Oh yeah, we got him right out of there.
Yeah, that's what I said. So these fan bases, they're looking for the latest and the greatest, and especially these ones that are used to winning. Like, you can't go. And I'm not saying this to make it sound harsh, but you cannot go to Philadelphia and not win and be a top draft pick. You can't be the top 3 draft pick. You can't be the top 5 draft pick and go there and be a bust. They're just not going to take it. Like, they're going to call you out. Like, and some of these quarterbacks that are mid-major guys, they can't handle it. And that's the biggest issue for me. And you see some of the comments. Is Justin Fields legit or is he a Bridgewater? What you got on that? This on you. This your guy.
I'm gonna be honest, man. What I'm nervous about is Griffin is every quarterback that comes from Ohio State, they end up being a bust. That's what I'm worried about. You know, I'm looking at, you know, I look at film, they look good. You know, I think from all the quarterbacks though, from Smith, JT Barrett, Cardale Jones, and the other one that can run, I feel like Justin Fields looks better on film and looks better for me than any of those guys. So I definitely feel like he's better than a Bridgewater. I feel like he can stand more in the pocket. I feel like he can stand more in the pocket than Bridgewater. He has a bigger arm than Bridgewater. So I definitely feel like he's definitely better than Bridgewater. Like, no, he's not.
So I'm gonna call you out right now, and I'm gonna tell you this because you're not counting Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is probably the best quarterback from Ohio State that they've ever had, and he didn't even finish at Ohio State.
That's but I mean. Come on, man. I can't.
You can talk about people. He learned he was there with those guys. He was there with them.
I don't even think he started ever. Maybe one game.
He didn't have to start. I'm telling you, it don't matter. Like those guys, they still play under that system. They play under that coach. He played.
Okay, man.
Justin, in my personal opinion, Justin Fields is going to be a lot better than we think. And given the right opportunity, giving somebody that's going to work with him, giving them to me personally, the perfect place for him to go is the Jets, because the Jets need to rely on the run right now because they don't have a whole lot of receivers. So
don't have a running back.
That's why you got Justin Fields. He can run. He not gonna. The thing with Justin Fields that Justin Fields gives you a running back that can throw the ball. He just gives you that, and that's what a lot of these quarterbacks are doing. A lot of people don't want to hear this because they don't want the quarterback to get this stigma about it. But for real, if you don't have a quarterback that can move in this day and age in the NFL, you're not going to win. And that's why watching these kids in college is such a big deal, because people have this year alone, people stacked the box against Ohio State because they were afraid of Teague, and they were afraid of Justin Fields running the ball. But then when Justin Fields started hitting Olavia on some of these deep bombs, especially against Clemson, man, dude threw 6 touchdowns. How are we afraid that he can't throw the ball or he's not an effective quarterback? Dude did it on one of the biggest stages. And I don't know if that's anger play, but I think that hit really did take a toll on Justin Fields. So we cannot use that national championship game as the rule. We got to use that as the exception because he was banged up. I went back and look at that hit, man, that dude got pummeled. Like it's amazing how he was even able to come back in the game and be, any type of, effective. And he came back in and still threw 4 touchdowns after he got hit. So we got to put some respect on Justin Fields. We got to say he is legit. And to be honest, he's probably got the most upside out of all the guys except for Trevor Lawrence.
I don't think he works in the Jets. They talk about in the draft that they need to draft an O-lineman. So obviously they O-line is not good. O-line is for them to be talking about that. So think about Deshaun Watson. Yeah, he can run. Yeah, he can pass. Probably one of the most quarterbacks sacked since being in the league. Have to be top 3, top 5 most sacked quarterbacks since he's been in the league.
True.
Yeah. So I don't like it. I don't like it for him. I mean, because he gonna be running for his life. He
will. You have a point. He will be running for his life, but you're not taking into consideration that his body. So how about this? Justin Fields and Jalen Hurts remind me a lot of each other. But Jalen Hurts is also doubted a lot because of what they claim him to be, a running back that can throw. But if you look at it, Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma, that Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma that was lighting up the scoreboard, that dude is still in the Jalen Hurts that's in Philly. They just don't use him like they should. But it's been moments where they played him, and when he was starting, they let him play, they let him go, and he was able to do something. And you have to account for his legs. Justin Fields, you have to account for his legs, and he has an arm. Dude threw a 60-yard bomb on Clemson. I'm not even playing, and I hate to say it because it's my team, but he legit carved us up, and he didn't do it with his legs. Dude threw all over us. He threw at least 3 40-yard plus passes on us, and they scored every single time. So he's got anticipation. Give him a receiving core. Give him any fast receiver that can really move. He will be successful. I'm saying that, and I believe that not because I'm an Ohio State fan, but because I've seen the dude in action. I know that he's good. And I know that I hear this. Yes, but the college and NFL is totally different. I get it. But we got to stop saying this because the NFL offenses are becoming more a run pass option offense, which is really a college offense. So we're taking what they're doing is they're crafting the offenses to match the player opposed to the offense. I mean, the player to the offense. Like, that's always easier to do. Look what they did with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson in the offense that they run with him, when they changed the offense to match like a run pass option offense, he was successful. The same thing with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow went into a very similar pro style offense, but he ran that with Joe Brady at LSU. Like, what these guys got to realize, these offensive coordinators, is when you're going out here spending these high draft picks on these quarterbacks, why are you trying to mold the quarterback to the offense? Why not mold the offense to the quarterback? Because that's what you need to be successful.
That's how they did in Arizona too, if you think about it.
Yeah.
The coach, he came from Texas Tech.
Oh, Kingsbury.
They used to run the same thing basically with what Kyler Murray was doing. You know, basically running, throwing, run. Yeah, that West Coast offense. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the offense. So they definitely match it up with. They definitely try to tailor the offense on what the quarterback is used to playing in. So
that's what we're saying. So we've been saying this all day. We've been saying that the NFL is different. It is different to a certain extent. The guys are faster. Everybody's a starter. So instead of you having that one defensive lineman that could move, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's the one. It's all five of them can move. They're the best player on their defensive line now. So to me personally, like, back to you, Al, like, it's different, but it's kind of the same, because as long as you make the offense, make that quarterback comfortable, that quarterback can play free. Like, that's the difference between Baker Mayfield when he first came in the league to Baker Mayfield now. Baker Mayfield now in the league is dangerous because their offense is tailored to his strengths. That's what I think the biggest difference between college and pro is, because you're taking the college coaches the kids are already in the program for 4 years. So or 3 years at least. So if you look at Trevor Lawrence when he first came to Clemson, he wasn't throwing bombs. Like, he wasn't throwing it. They was more relying on the run game and their defense to beat people that first year. And then when they went and played Alabama, they turned them loose. When that Alabama game, they turned them loose on Alabama, and they wasn't ready for it because they had been so run heavy all year. That's the difference in the college game. And that's why I tell people, if you really want to see what the guy's gonna be like in pros, because everybody says when the draft come around, they start booing the guy that they drafted. And I'm like, why are you booing that guy? Because you ain't even watched him in college. The only thing you seeing is these highlights that they didn't put up for the draft, and you thinking that, oh, he's not big enough, he's not tall enough, or whatever the case may be. But really, in all honesty, dude was a stud in college, and he was a stud because it is. Like, look at DK Metcalf. Look at DK. Had you watched any college ball that whole year, you would have knew DK Metcalf was a beast.
Yeah, he was supposed to go. He was supposed to go in the first round. They had him going.
Right, but he had the neck. The neck concern was an issue for them.
Yeah.
But he built like a Mack truck. He don't even need his neck. What is he? He a receiver. He don't need his neck. All he gonna do, and the thing about it, he's built so big. He looked like, to me, he remind me of Zion Williamson if he played football. That's what DK Metcalf. He can move extremely well to be as big as he is, and he can move in tight spaces. He can catch really, really well, and used properly. DK Metcalf is a viable option for any team. So these GMs are missing on a lot of these college players, all because they don't watch the college game. They're sending somebody out, and that's just what they do. So my brother, I got a comment from my brother, man. He says, how do you think Smith from Alabama would do in the NFL? What you got?
I mean, you think about it, man. I just feel like, man, what he did in college, man, he's gonna be great, man. Like, good at running routes, speed, can jump. I mean, what else you basically need, man? So I mean, you know, I kind of am worried though, like a lot of wide receivers, you know, I've seen this, that a lot of top wide receivers, like, they say he going top 3. Like, it's been a minute since a top 5, top 3 wide receiver is being good. Like, I can't think of one prior besides, I think, since maybe Odell. I don't even know how far he.
Well, Julio.
Well, Julio came in before Odell.
Odell.
So if you think about it, the top wide receivers didn't come in the top 3 in the NFL.
Right.
Devontae Adams, 2nd round. Tyreek Hill, 5th round. Justin Jefferson, he balled out late 1st round.
That was a flip. Somebody. All right, so I got some thoughts on this, man. And then I know you're gonna like what I got to say. But to my brother, man, Smith, in my honest opinion, Smith is probably going to be just as good as he was in college if he's given the right system and the right quarterback. If he's not given the right, but we've also seen, guys that are, good stud receivers to get stuck with bad quarterbacks. Like look at DeAndre Hopkins. All them years he had Hoyer. He had like 4 or 5 different quarterbacks in the first 4 years, and he still balled out. You know what I'm saying? So
he did ball out, yeah.
So that's really going to tell you what you're going to get. I hope he has a great career. I think he will. And I'm gonna hit these 2 more questions. So I have another one. ETN ? I think the ETN before the end of the day, I think ETN gonna end up more like a slot, kind of like a Kareem Hunt, because he's gonna end up more catching the ball because they taking the ball out of his hands at Clemson. I don't know why. He had less touches this year than he had in any season in his career. And I don't know if they was trying to get him more draft ready because he's not a small. I think, okay, so this is my personal opinion. The years before, they let him run the ball only, and he couldn't catch. I don't know if you remember that. He could not catch the ball out the backfield. Like he dropped like between 15 to 20 balls in a season coming out of the backfield as a running back. And so they focused so much on his hands that season that they only threw him the ball out of the backfield going forward. And then teams were keying on him to make sure that he didn't run, so they were stacking the box. I don't know, because in my mind, he puts me in the, like, for Clemson people, he puts me in the mind of a Wayne Gallman. And if you watch Clemson and you watch the games, you'll know what I'm saying. Wayne Gallman in college was a beast. He got it in. Clemson used him the right way. He had big gains. But Wayne Gallman in the NFL isn't as effective because he's a secondary back behind Saquon Barkley. So he's not getting
Saquon. I mean,
he's not getting the same amount of touches. And now that Saquon's gone, he had a pretty decent season, but he didn't wow me. He didn't jump off the paper to me. And that's my personal opinion. I'm a Clemson fan, so I'm telling you, that's my honest opinion about Gallman. Gallman doesn't wow you. ETN may do a little better because now he can catch the ball out of the backfield. I mean, you look like,
I'm scared. I'm actually scared of him. He reminds me, if I'm a Kansas City fan, he kind of reminds me of Jamal Charles, for real. Maybe on Twitter.
I knew you was gonna say that, bro.
But he kind of remind me of Charles. Now he catching out the backfield. Jamal Charles is pretty good at catching, and that speed, man. I'm scared of him. If he has a good chance of being a good in the league, and I really think I have him being pretty good, man. He'll be a starter.
Who's the best running back in this class though coming out? This your trick question right here though.
Best running back in the class is Najee Harris. I mean, he's the best.
Nope. I'm not even giving you that because I'm gonna let you think about it for a minute. Think about who's the best back in the class.
We talking about?
And when I say this name to you, you're gonna be like, "Dang, I ain't even think about him."
You thinking about Chuba?
Chuba Hubber, bruh.
Yeah.
The reason that I say that, and if you don't watch college football, you're not gonna know what I'm saying. But if you do, you're gonna know exactly what I mean. Chuba Hubbard in Oklahoma State offense was everything. He got banged up early. He had an injury, so it took him out of the running. But for the last couple of years, him and ETN been 1 and 2 for yards per carry. The thing that killed Chuba this year is like he did get hurt, and the offensive coordinator got fired mid-season. So they stopped using him, and then he opted out a couple games for COVID. And of course, he just didn't, they didn't do well enough, so they didn't make it any games. So in my mind, the best running back that nobody's talking about is Chuba Hubbard out of Oklahoma State. He reminds me of a mixture between ETN, Najee Harris, and Sermon. It's like if they all had a baby, it would be Chuba. I'm telling you.
Dude, because he was banged up, man. I really know. I don't know why, but I knew you was talking about him. Because I mean, he was the top running back. Basically, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, last year they had him as one of the top running backs. So I mean, I definitely feel where you're coming from. I feel you.
He puts me in the mind of a Fournette previous to injuries. Yeah, think about that. Like I know you're giving Najee Harris high praise and you're giving ETN high praise, but Chuba Hubber is probably as good as Leonard Fournette before all of Leonard Fournette's injuries. We got one more question, man. It's another big one. What did you think of Rager before he got drafted last season? In my personal opinion, I knew he was a speed guy, but I didn't think he should have been chosen when he got chosen because there was a lot of other good receivers that were out and available. Because he was second round, but there were still some other guys out there.
Okay, I thought the Eagles took him.
They took him after. Did they take him out? They took him first. They took it as their first pick in the second round or first round.
Yeah, I thought it was first. Yeah, I thought it was the first because I was surprised. I think.
Yeah, he was like 8 or 12 or something.
Yeah, I'm like, man, before Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, so that's what I said. There were so many other receivers out there. Look, let's take Jefferson out of the picture. Let's take him out. Let's just see if we could run back time and we could say, you know what, Jefferson doesn't exist. There's still 3 other receivers or 4 other receivers that I would have took above Jalen Rager. One would be T. Higgins from Clemson, had a really good season, balled out. I would have took CeeDee Lamb, of course, CeeDee Lamb, or Jerry Jeudy. I would take Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, it was disrespectful, man. I was just like, man, who y'all taking? Like,
this is what we own. This is the stuff this is what they are on as these GMs. They don't watch the college game. They don't have any idea. So they just listen to some college scout that may have known him from his pops or anybody. They could have known him. They see speed on, like, you're 40. I'm going to say this and I'm going to say this right now. Your 40 means absolutely nothing to me. Because if you look at DeAndre Hopkins' 40, his 40 looks like absolute trash for a receiver.
I think it's like 4.4 or 4.5, something like that.
It's slow. It's slow. I think Julio and DK are way faster than him, and they're way bigger than him. Yeah. But his route tree, you have to watch the games. You got to see these kids' route trees. Because if you don't, you will look at Smith and you say Smith is the hottest thing to sliced bread. But you look at his size and you will say, oh, well, he can't do that in the NFL. Like, what? But if you look at his route tree, bro, dude is running double moves like every play. He got the defense on skates. I seen one play, dog. He faked out the corner, the linebacker, and the safety in the same play, triple coverage, and they was playing zone. He got behind the safety somehow, and they were keying on him.
Smoked him. Behind, smoked him.
80 yards, bombs. This dude is because you gotta stop looking at these like they gotta look at the intangibles of the game. Can he run? Can he run his routes? Can he really sell the route? Does he have some breakaway speed when he catch the ball? Like, we got to start looking at stuff like that. And like I said, even with this year, with a lot of the guys, people are not really talking about Olavia. People are not talking about Olavia. And I'm telling you guys, if you watch college football, you got to talk about Olavia. He's not on any of these people's big boards. He didn't even make my big board because there's some of the orders changed. But if somebody needs a receiver, Olavia might be there in the second round, early second round. He might be there.
He's going first round late. I got him going first round late.
I know you do, but you watch the games. But I'm talking about some of these guys that aren't watching the game because they're getting so enamored with Smith and Jamar Chase and some of these guys. Omari Rogers from Clemson is going to be another big one. Another big receiver that's going to come out. And, you know, a lot of people are going to be like, okay, well, they're going to get enamored by Smith. And I hope the Eagles do have enough common sense to take him. I hope they do. I hope they have enough somebody gets with Harry Roseman and they say, you know what, buddy, you got to take this guy or you're out too. Like, I hope they do that. But in all honesty, you can't go wrong with either Jamar Chase.
Yeah, you can't go. Yeah,
because they both have a lot of upside. Jamar Chase with Justin Jefferson at LSU, they were everything. You know what I'm saying? Just like Waddle. Waddle might fall in the draft because he's got the ankle injuries. People might forget about Jalen Waddle.
He might go first round in the draft. I've seen late first round. He might go.
Exactly. So think about, you got a choice between Jalen Waddle and Chris Olave. Are you going to take the big name with Jalen Waddle? Because you know that, because even with a messed up ankle, just have ankle surgery, he still had 4 catches in that game. You know what I'm saying? So really, what are we? I mean, we're splitting here. The receiver it's super receiver heavy this draft. There's a lot of good receivers. But I don't want people to forget about but Chris Olave, man. I'm telling you, that is my hot take for today. That Chris Olave is going to have a great career as an NFL receiver. Remember the name, Chris Olave from Ohio State. I'm not an Ohio State fan, but that dude is the real deal. And anytime I've seen him play, he played with a lot of heart. Oh, man. Here we go. So, Kamari, my dad, I'm going to leave this one to you. Dad said, what about Powell from Clemson?
I'm trying to we talking about the wide receiver, right?
Yeah, the big boy, 17.
Yeah. I mean, he's strong. I mean, he got some speed to him too. He got some speed to him. But I mean, probably 3rd round.
Definitely, maybe undrafted. I'm gonna be real with you, Dad. I love you to death, but I think you're gonna be reaching a lot to try to get him in the draft, because I just don't. He's 30 years old. He's already passed a lot of his window. The best receiver coming out of Clemson this year is Omar Rogers. He can return kicks. He got a great route tree. He's a little smaller. He's probably a slot receiver, but he got good stock. His dad is T. Martin, the quarterback that used to play at Tennessee. So he's pretty much groomed for this. He came off of ACL surgery. That's the only reason why we kept him. But yeah, that's just where we at. My dad said I'm sleeping, and that's just he said I'm sleeping on him, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Dad. I don't think he's gonna make it. I'm gonna be real with you. Porter Gould checking in said Chase set out the whole season. You never know if he's gonna fall a little bit. To be honest, man, so this is what I did, Porter. Before I took on the show and I said, I'm gonna do only college sports, I started looking at a lot of the draft stuff because I wanted to see why these guys had him so high. Man, I don't know I don't remember how big he was before the offseason for him, but dude looked like he ate the old Jamar Chase. That's how big and muscular he looked. He's definitely bigger, stronger. He's probably faster too, because you had a whole season off of not having to get hit, and you trading with Odell and stuff like that, man. You ain't gonna do nothing but get better. I believe that Jamar Chase could be a sleeper only because we've been focused so hard on Smith and the guys that we're currently playing. I just don't see him like falling off, because he was so good the year before. Like that receiving core from LSU the year before, man, was it was brutal, dude. Like, it was hard. It was hard to watch as a Clemson fan. They carved us up, dude. Like, it looked like they was playing catch, and we didn't have nobody out there to catch them. But yeah, so Porter, check back in. This one for you. This one for you. He said Chris Olave is Wes Welker, more athletic. I'm giving that one to you. This your guy. I'm giving that one to you, man. What you got?
I feel like this. I mean, that's a good take. I mean, Wes Welker was but I feel like they'll have Olave. I feel like he'll be like one. He can be a number 1 receiver. I feel like.
I do. I
feel like, Wes Welker slot. I mean, he was. I think sometime at once he was the number 1 receiver, because but maybe because I'm not a fan of the Patriots, man. So I mean, anything you try to compare with people like Wes Welker, I'm not going to agree. But I mean, it's still a good take. Wes Welker wasn't a bad wide receiver.
No, it wasn't.
So, I mean,
All right. So I got a question here. I'm gonna give you this one too. What do you guys think about Rondale Moore and Terrence Marshall?
I'm trying to figure out.
I got it.
Yeah, you got that one.
Hold on. All right. Hold up, man. I'm gonna go look them up. Cause that honestly, I didn't really pay attention to the two. I'm gonna be honest with you. So how about this? I'm gonna get your answer and I'm gonna hit you back in the DMs, man. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna hit you back. That's just I'm not gonna gaslight you. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't really know a whole lot about those two guys. Not because I didn't pay attention, but you know,
I knew about Marshall. I know he played with I heard of him. He played with LSU.
Yeah, but see the thing about it, I didn't watch a whole lot of LSU play this year because they were so bad that I really
did he opt out? So he opted out of the
But anyway, I still didn't want. Only reason because I didn't have a stomach for it. If it was LSU, any of these kind of the guys that was kind of like they didn't have good seasons, I kind of try to stick on my own level. And I told y'all, man, I'm kind of a closeted Ohio State fan because I watch them more than I watch my boys most of the time, and I watch Alabama a lot. So like I'm also a closeted Alabama fan, which I'm gonna put up a definition of that next time we have our podcast or our show because. To be honest with you, when you're a closeted fan, you watch that team more than you watch your own, but you secretly hoping that they lose. So a lot of people are like closeted, like Cowboys fans and like closeted Pittsburgh fans, like they don't want to lose. That's just where we at with it. I just want to be real. Like, how do we think Coastal Carolina is going to do next season? I'll take this one, man. Coastal. Because I'm from South Carolina, I have a special place in my heart for Coastal because I know they're a smaller school, smaller D1 school. They have to recruit against Clemson. They have to recruit to get a lot of these guys in the same state with South Carolina and Clemson. So they have a hard time recruiting. But what their coach has been able to do was he took something, he made it fun to play there. With all the different things they had going on, all the locker room stuff, all the dancing, all the ways that he can motivate his guys. It wouldn't surprise me if they're not good from now on, especially in the conference that they in. Do I think they have a good season like they did this year? Maybe, maybe not. But I do think that they are building something at Coastal that has been really good to watch, especially throughout the year. They've had one of the best years outside of Appalachian State back in the past that I've seen.
Yeah, I was gonna say they kind of remind me of Appalachian State. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
like an App State. They've probably done the most in that little bit of time, and what he's building there is really, really cool. Do I believe that they will be, undefeated and stuff like they was this year? I'm gonna pull the Angels in the outfield. Maybe it can happen. I'm gonna pull one of those. Like it could happen. So he could, they could have another season as good as they did before. But I got something that I'm gonna speak on a little bit, and I think Porter beat me to it. Jackson State. So with the emergence of Deion Sanders taking his complement of all of his assets, all of his media attention, he's taking it to Jackson State, HBCU. MAC, I think we said MAC conference last time, right? MAC or MEAC? So with his compliment and what he's trying to do at that HBCU, he's stealing some of these players, dude. I don't know if you've been seeing.
Yeah, I just seen something that he just got somebody else.
He pulled somebody from Florida State.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts, man? I'm gonna give you this one first, and then I'll come in after you.
My thoughts on that, man, is for the MEAC, for college football, man, I think that's pretty good. I mean, you have somebody like Deion Sanders, Hall of Fame DB. Nobody could stop him on the punt returns. Once he's like, I mean, he's just like one of those special players, man. Like that, it's hard to come by. I watch NFL Network a lot, and I see already that I've seen that he knows ball. But I mean, you can see that on the field that he knows balls. So I mean, I feel like it's pretty good, man. Having somebody like that big of a name going to a small school like that. So I feel like a lot of people gonna be watching him just off of Deion Sanders. So he better bring it. And he definitely he definitely can get the let me see.
The
Can he
top
get the
player.
players top? Do you think he can get the players to be a top team in college football? Um, I mean, it all depends on who he. It all depends on who he recruits. And I mean, like we were saying, he's getting those top recruits because I mean, a lot of these young guys, I know they watch Deion Sanders' film because he's one of the best DBs to ever play in the league. So he definitely has a huge following. So top team, it'd probably be something maybe like Coastal Carolina.
All right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, man. So my take on Deion Sanders. So fun fact, man, for those of you guys that didn't know, before integration, HBCUs were the place where all the major players went. Therefore, where I'm from, there's a little school called South Carolina State. It's down in Orangeburg, South Carolina. They were always, known for having a really good football team, even though they were HBCU. And to be honest with you guys, there's a lot of schools like that. They just don't get talked about in the bigger college football because of they are HBCUs and they normally don't have the same amount of money and the same backing as like a Clemson or Ohio State or Alabama or Georgia. So in the bigger scheme of things, they just kind of get like washed over. But if you look at some of these draft classes that they come out with, some of the better players are coming from these schools, some of these small mid majors, and a lot of times they're skill positions like your receivers, your DBs, running backs. Like they're coming from these places because a lot of them sometimes they don't have. So what I've realized that in my old age is that the grades make a difference. So a lot of times the kid might not have the grades to go to a D1 school or a Notre Dame because the restrictions are so high for them to get into that school that sometimes they end up dropping to a small. They normally go to. Sometimes they end up going to a JUCO. We've all seen Last Chance U. A lot of those guys are super talented, but they end up dropping to these smaller schools because of grades or money, or they didn't get the right look, and they don't have the money to end up going to a prep school for a year to get bigger or stronger or to get more looks. So they end up at that, that JUCO or that, Division II, NAIA, MEAC, or whatever school, and then we'll see them in the draft. They'll be like, where did this guy come from? They come from these places like we talking about because of the situation that they're in. I think that Deion Sanders is in a really good special place because how can I say this and not sound crazy? But I think a lot of times with Deion Sanders is because Deion Sanders is a larger than life personality. He's going to attract larger than life talent, and he's going to be able to do it and speak to that level of, I know the feeling of being, not having. He can speak to that, that thing. As I'm going to do my best for my son. Look at Texas. In Texas, he went in Texas with a high school team, and he was dominant. They didn't always win it, but they was always in it. His son was the number one ranked quarterback out of high school in that area. So we got to look at he's bringing his son in that quarterback. You think he's not gonna get some receivers to go with his son? You crazy if you think he not. They gonna want to play with Shadare. His other son left Carolina and went down with him. He left South Carolina Gamecocks, which is a dumpster fire, by the way. But he left them. And, he went to, and he's with his dad at Jackson State, pulling guys from Florida State. And there's a couple of these schools that don't have any type of identity. Like a lot of these schools that these guys are getting pulled from, these teams don't have identities. Think about how many dumpster fires there is in the NCAA. Teams that just can't win and can't get that stuff together. Even SEC schools, they're going to have a hard time standing up to a Deion Sanders that comes and sit in the living room for recruiting and say, hey, I want to see your son do big. They might not have the amount of money to offer for scholarships, but they can find other ways to get the kids there.
I mean, it's Deion Sanders. I mean, you look at that's all you need. I mean, just like to say if Michael Jordan, like, I mean, if he came in and say, I want you to come play for me, they're gonna take Jordan. So
for sure. So this is for Porter. I'm not sleeping on Cincinnati. So let me be real for all you people that are from Ohio, my homies from Ohio, we're not sleeping on Cincinnati. I do think Cincinnati kind of got the shaft. I really feel like if they would expand the playoff, these teams would get a chance to do it. They would get a chance. And Google's saying like Mississippi Valley State. Mississippi Valley State. Yeah. That was Jerry Rice, right?
That's
gotta be Jerry Rice. But we thinking about all these guys that's coming out of these places. Yeah, the playing time is guaranteed. You're not going up against 4 or 5 other 5-stars. It's just you, and maybe some kid that went to a JUCO the year before you, and now you got a chance to play as soon as you come in. So we're really not, we're splitting hairs here, but the real truth and the honest truth about the whole thing is that if you're really looking at it from a perspective of somebody who is really into the college game, Deion Sanders is going to be great for recruiting. Dude can sell salt to a slug. I don't know if you ever heard him, especially on NFL Network. And if he starts bringing in the coaches that he's talking about bringing in, like Ed Reed and Warren Sapp and all this, it's going to be a star-studded coaching staff. And I'm not saying it necessarily means you're going to win, but these guys know ball. And a lot of people say, well, just because you're a good player don't mean you're a good coach. That's not always the case. But if you put enough people around you that's good, like I don't really think that Dabo is that great of a coach. And now you heard it here first. I don't think Dabo is that great of a coach. He is a great motivator, an excellent motivator. But his staff is bar none one of the best college staffs in the NCAA. He's got Venables on defense. He's got Scott on offense. He had the other guy just went and took a job at another school. I can't remember where he went, but he had 2 offensive coordinators. If you guys don't remember, he had two OCs at one time.
Yeah, because he was missing from the Ohio State game.
Yeah. So I mean, look at it, man. You gotta start looking at. We gotta stop looking so much at these head coaches of these teams and look at the staff that's built around them, because they're who really is winning these games. I love Dabo. I love that. I love Dabo. I hate that he puts his foot in his mouth, but at the same time, he's generated a staff that can go out here and win games, and that's what you got to look at. Just like we're gonna talk about Bieniemy one day. We're gonna talk about Bieniemy for you guys, and kind of like how he's kind of taking the front runner role in like some of these better jobs, and he's gonna decide where he's gonna go if he wants to coach, be a head coach. He's gonna make that decision because he's comfortable. He's with Ed Reed. He's with Andy Reid. He can do what he wants. A lot of these college coaches that are trying to make the next step, like a lot of people are throwing around Lincoln Riley, and Lincoln Riley he's a great offensive mind, but Lincoln Riley ain't won nothing. What have he won? Like, he been to the college football playoff a couple times, but he haven't won anything. And I'm gonna let you take this one because I know you're gonna like to talk about this one. How do you feel about Bill O'Brien, the OC at Alabama?
I mean, I don't like it, man. I really hope it's a dumpster fire, man. You seen what he did in Houston. The guy doesn't make good decisions, man. He was a GM head coach. Traded away your best wide receiver and one of the top 2 wide receivers. When you can put him at number 1, number 2 wide receiver in the league. He just messed that whole organization up, man. And if you think about it, I mean, I know we play it. I don't know. You just can't have a guy like that. I mean, playing in the NFL, you up 24-0, and the team comes back and beat you by 20 points last year. Like, I mean, that don't make sense. I would have just went off of that. Like, how a top school like Alabama, one of the best football histories in college football, how can you hire a guy like that?
So
I mean, I understand it's still offense, but DeAndre Hopkins was part of the offense, and he traded him away.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this one though. Go ahead, finish up. Go ahead. What'd you say? He traded DeAndre Hopkins away.
No, I was saying his focus is offense, not head coaching. But I'm like, he traded one of his best players. He got rid of one of his best players on offense.
Yes.
So
probably one of the best generational talents for a franchise, and probably their best draft pick ever for the Houston Texans, outside of Arian Foster. And like I'm gonna say, and JJ Watt. But in my personal opinion, O'Brien doesn't need to be a coaching anymore. After this crap he just pulled, they need to ban him from coaching. He don't need to be nowhere in the office. They need to move him to like special teams and get him work his way back up, because he has by far made one of the dumbest decisions as a GM outside of Howie Roseman and drafting Rhaegar last year. That was probably the dumbest decision. You traded DeAndre Hopkins for everything but a pack of now-and-laters. Like, you got, we'll take 2 packs of Skittles and a now-and-later for DeAndre Hopkins, and we just want him gone. but that's because Bill O'Brien had lost control of the team. And on top of him losing control of the team, he didn't like that him and that Watson and DeAndre Hopkins were so close. But why wouldn't you want your receiver and your quarterback to be close? That makes no sense. No sense at all. Like, whatever. You know what? I'm not even talking about that's another show. I'll leave that to Tony and them to talk about NFL show. But man, so Lincoln Riley, he's not ready. How can I put this? I enjoy the fact that they really like, man, I like the fact that they're going for these offensive minded coaches. I like it. The problem with Lincoln Riley is Lincoln Riley haven't won nothing yet. He's had great. He's had 2 Heisman winning quarterbacks in Baker Mayfield and what's the other kid's name? The little short guy.
Kyler
Murray.
Yeah.
And so you got 2 of those guys, but what has Lincoln Riley actually won in college? Like, to me personally, and I'm not saying that championships matter, but they do. Like, that matters to me. Like, does that
Lincoln Riley? My bad. Lincoln Riley wasn't the Oklahoma head coach.
He is the Oklahoma head coach.
Oh, right now, am I tripping?
No, Bob Stoops. Bob Stoops was the one that came from Oklahoma first. So Bob Stoops had it before Lincoln Riley. Okay. But check this out.
My bad.
My thoughts about this is Lincoln Riley hasn't won anything. He's been to the dance. He just hasn't won it. And it seems like every time he gets there, he just doesn't have enough to get over the hump. If Lincoln Riley was really to become, if Lincoln Riley was to get a shake in the NFL, if I'm Eric Bieniemy, I'm pissed. And I'm going to say that because they already have like a shortage of African-American coaches, and Bieniemy is clearly one of the best offensive minds in the world. So why would you go take Lincoln Riley from the college ranks, who couldn't even win as a college coach, and you make him, you know what I'm saying? You make him the guy. It's like Chip Kelly. Like, Chip Kelly was a crap NFL coach. And
he was consistent. He was consistent at Oregon. He said he was consistent. I was like, Chip Kelly was consistent at Oregon.
Yeah, he was consistent, but consistent don't do nothing in the NFL. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I feel like what the thing that makes Urban Meyer different from Lincoln Riley is that Urban Meyer has won on all levels. Like, he's won. Like, he's won when he went to Florida. He won at Utah. He won at Bowling Green. He even made Bowling Green a team that we even knew who they was. Like, Ohio State, Florida. Like, he's had winning. It seems that wherever he goes, he wins. And that's the difference. Lincoln Riley hasn't had that. And
I mean, I think it all depends. My quick on that. I think it all depends on who your quarterback. I think it all depends on who your quarterback is. You think about Kingsbury. He didn't win. He wasn't winning nothing at Texas Tech. You know, he with Arizona now. They had a chance to get in the playoffs. But yeah. And then you think about, but I mean, it all depends. But because Matt Rule, he didn't win nothing at Baylor. You see what he doing at Carolina? He's not doing anything. I think it all depends. I think it all depends on your personnel you have around you. Because, like I was saying, Arizona, I think they only had to win one more game or something. They would have, if they would have won their last game, they would have been in it. So,
all right. So I got two more good questions, man. We coming up on an hour and 30 in a couple minutes, but I just want to give these two. So one said, is Eric calling the plays or is it Andy Reid's offense? And the second one is Urban Meyer's quarterback have made him, if you think about it. So I'm gonna give you the Eric Bieniemy because you're a Kansas City fan, and I'm gonna take the Urban Meyer one.
Man, that's a tough one, man. I'm gonna be honest because I think Andy Reid is making the. I mean, I think Andy Reid is doing most of it because I just feel like what he did in Philly, that transfer. I mean, he's an offense. You know, he has most of the say. He's the top offensive genius one of the top offensive geniuses in NFL history. But so I think he has more to do with the offense because I mean he's definitely, if you look at the games, Reed when he's on the sideline, he's not talking to no defensive players. He's strictly focused on talking to Patrick Mahomes. He sits around him and he sits beside him. I think he has I think he's just like he was saying, he's the play caller and something. Like I feel like, yeah, because Doug Peterson, you think about him, Matt Nagy. Yeah, they were the offensive coordinators, but it ain't translating in Chicago and translating in Philly. So I definitely feel like Andy Reid is definitely the man calling the shots. But like you were saying, Eric,
all right,
he plays a part as well. Yeah.
All right, man. I'm gonna hit this Urban Meyer real quick, man. Urban Meyer had quarterbacks to make him look good. Okay. I have mixed feelings about this comment, Porter, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I've watched him when he had the third string quarterback go and win a national championship. I watched that personally. And I'm not an Ohio State fan. I'm telling you, dude took the third string quarterback and went and beat a very, very good defensive Alabama team with Derrick Henry. Was that Derrick Henry team?
Yeah, that was Derrick Henry. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm going to be real, man. I know that people are saying that a lot of it is the simple fact that he has had good quarterbacks. He has, but that also, that's also to the point where he's saying that he can recruit. That's also part of the being a coach is recruiting, especially in college, recruiting and getting personnel to match what you're trying to do. So I do think that makes him, I think that makes him different. I think that's what you said earlier.
Yeah, he's different, man. I don't understand that comment. Besides Alex Smith, I mean, what other quarterback besides Alex Smith has looked good in the NFL? If you just want to talk college, yeah, they was good college quarterbacks, but you think about Alex Smith. I just stated that.
He said
Alex Smith is a good quarterback, Pro Bowl quarterback. So,
yes.
But yeah, if you think about it, you think about the quarterbacks, like who they have, Chris Leak. I think they had Chris Leak that first time he won a championship. And he's not getting the NFL. Tim Tebow, yeah, he had a couple of good seasons in the NFL.
Tim Tebow got crapped on, and that's another conversation for another show. But yeah. Tim Tebow got screwed over, and I don't care what nobody say. They did Tim Tebow dirty, man. He should be in the NFL still. I hate that narrative. That's the one narrative I hate about football in general, is that when quarterbacks, like, it doesn't matter how the quarterback wins as long as he is winning. Like, I don't understand this. Oh, well, he's got to look a certain way. He's got to look the part. What is the part is that they win. Like, people kill me with that about Tim Tebow, Jalen Hurts, all these kind of quarterbacks that kind of run first guys, Lamar Jackson. They kill me with that. Oh, well, he don't look like the quarterback's supposed to look. What is the quarterback supposed to look like? Because to me personally, I want whoever gonna win. Yeah. Like, I don't care nothing about all the mechanics and crap. Like, win the game, homeboy. I don't care about none of that other stuff. If you can win, Tim Tebow was a proven winner. He even went with the Broncos into Pittsburgh and won a playoff game.
Yeah.
And they hadn't done that since, was it Brett Favre they had?
No, not Broncos, Elway.
I mean, I'm saying, well, hold on. No, not Elway. I'm not Elway, but they had somebody else before him, after him. Oh. But they had one with them. So why would Tim Tebow all of a sudden get canned because he won a playoff game? You can him because he's not throwing the ball, but he was winning.
Yeah, I understand that. Let's talk about Ken. I see Griffin comment. I wanted to comment on that. Y'all can Doug Peterson. I don't know why you wouldn't want him to coach your team. He just brought you a Super Bowl 2 years ago. Y'all not used, like I was telling one of our guys, Kibo. Philly's not used to winning. Y'all get to the NFC Championship, but y'all not used to winning rings. That was y'all first ring, and y'all get rid of them. Like,
which he won with the second string quarterback, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, like, come on now. Like, I would love Eric. I would want Eric Bieniemy to coach a team. Because if he can be anything like Doug got you a ring. So I would love for Andy Reid to Eric Bieniemy. I mean, for Kansas City's sake, I wouldn't want him to leave. But I mean, I feel like he can be a good coach.
Listen, man, I'm gonna say this right now. If you're an Eagles fan, hear me and hear me good. Doug Peterson was not the problem with the freaking Eagles. The problem with the freaking Eagles was Carson Wentz and the freaking GM and Laurie. I don't know who was in bed with who or who was in cahoots with who, but I'm telling you, I know this is a college show, but this has to be said, and I need to say this where you guys can hear me. Listen to me. Doug Peterson took the second string quarterback and he won a Super Bowl. Now, people will say that Carson Wentz was supposed to win the MVP that year, and that may have been true, but it didn't happen. And he didn't win that Super Bowl either. So guess who won that Super Bowl? Nick freaking Foles. Nick Foles went and took on the GOAT and knocked him out. The problem with the freaking Eagles, I repeat, is not Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson is the scapegoat. He's the guy that they fired because he probably said to them, I don't want to work with Wentz anymore. Wentz ain't the guy. I'm going to probably go with Jalen. I'm going to let him have a competition battle. And they probably said, you know what? There ain't going to be no competition battle because Wentz is our guy. We paying him too much money to let him go.
They paid him too much. That's why they
and he's stuck. So you either got to figure out how to work with him or whatever. And guess what? And let's be real about this. Jalen Hurts is expendable to them. He was expendable. And at the same time, I watched games because my wife is an Eagles fan. I watched plenty of games this year. And I'm telling you, at the end of the day, that team had more fire with Jalen Hurts than they had all year with Carson Wentz. The same players, they didn't win but one game, but they played with fire. And if you're watching football like I'm watching football, I can feel a vibe when I watch a team. Do they really want to play with each other? That's the difference. And we got some more things to go through. But man, that you can't blame Doug Peterson for that. Doug Peterson won. He made some questionable calls, but he was trying to win when he had replacements. Dude played with the replacements for the replacements. He was almost in like a situation where he was playing with like the year when they had the lockout and everybody decided not to play. And he just had to go pick some guys up in Philly and just say, hey man, y'all come play football. And they still competed. And in those games that you saw them compete with Jalen Hurts did what he could to win. He didn't have any training camp. You threw him out there and you basically had to watch him try to scramble and run for his life the entire time. Did he make some bad plays? Yes, of course. But did he also play good? And then you pull him to put in Sudfeld, and I don't think that was his call either. Like, to be honest with you, I don't think that was his. I think that somebody else was the puppet master. I think at the end of the day, if we go back and look at if we was a fly on the wall in that room when they had this conversation, they probably told Doug, listen, you either going to start Carson next year without any type of competition because you know he doesn't want competition, or you're out of here. And Doug probably said, you know what? I have to have a competition because I think Jalen Hurts has got something. I think we got something with Jalen Hurts. We work with his mechanics and we get him right. That's just my thing. You know, that's just me. And I got a lot of comments coming in. Thank you guys all for checking in. Lawrence Milton, thank you for checking in, my man. Robert, what's up? What's up, Martin? Goo, you still checking in? And the problem, and yeah, a lot of people are saying that it's Laurie and Roseman. I think that they've done something. They've done something. And if you want to be superstitious, I think that what happened was, I think that they sold to win that ring, and now it's coming back to get them. It's just, you know, it's the curse, and then they get rid of the kid. They get rid of Foles. It's the curse of Nick Foles. He's the guy with the statue. Carson Wentz ain't nowhere in Philly. You see a lot of his jerseys, but he ain't immortalized in front of the stadium. Doug Peterson and Nick Foles are. And I think they always mess with him from the time that he didn't get to, you know, quarterback that team into a championship. That messed with him. That was his Achilles heel. He's been trying to get over that hump because he didn't play in that game. The coach is expendable. No. You see this? He's expendable. Dude just won you guys a Super Bowl. You have never won a Super Bowl before. Not even Andy Reid didn't win a Super Bowl here. And you get rid of Doug Peterson? Dude,
I don't understand that, man.
I don't either. If it would have been me personally, I'm not in the mindset to get rid of your talent first, but when your talent hasn't played like he has any talent, you get rid of the talent. Carson Wentz forgot how to play football. It's like the Monstars came down and took his talent.
I was just about to say that.
It's like they came and took his talent, like he didn't forgot what to do. And that's just where we at. Like,
mediocre got y'all the Super Bowl. We're not trying to talk about mediocre. Mediocre got y'all the Super Bowl. Be happy with Foles being mediocre, because that's what got y'all the Super Bowl.
Because Superman apparently can't get it done. I'm gonna say this, and this is my last thing I'm saying about pro football. I promise you. Carson Wentz does not have a one win as a starting quarterback in the playoffs. Not one as a starting quarterback. And everybody say, well, he got knocked down a dirty hit last year. Look at his history. Dude has been hurt and dang on every postseason they ever been in. Regardless if it's intentional or not, he's been hurt. Like, why is this the guy you go and pay $100 million? I don't understand it. How is he the guy that you pay $100 million to and have nobody else on the team? Nobody else is available, or even the highest paid guys are guys that are leaving. Like, all these dudes are gone. Like Deshaun Jackson didn't play this year. Alshon Jeffrey really didn't play this year. They said he couldn't catch. They said Aguilar couldn't catch last year too. You remember that? They
balling in the Raiders. Balling for the Raiders.
Balling. Yeah. The problem is Carson Wentz and Roseman. It's not Doug. He's the guy calling plays. And they don't roll him out, and they don't roll Carson Wentz out anymore because he's injury prone. You're not going to $100 million guy. You're not going to have him running around the field potentially getting hurt when you know he made out of paper mache. You're just not going to do it. Oh, man.
It don't make sense, man. But, yeah, we can talk. Let's go to the next topic. Yeah. Who are you talking about being to the playoffs once?
Wentz. He did go to the playoffs once, but he didn't win, and he got knocked out the game. So he hasn't been healthy through an entire playoff yet. Like, I have never seen him. Hell, I think Deshaun Watson got more playoff wins than him. And he got a trash team. You know what I'm saying? He got a trash back team. Oh, man. All right, so last thing, man. So because we're coming at an hour 30 where we wanted to be our launch point. All right, so we're going to hit you with the last segment, man. The last segment. I know you're going to be excited about this one. Man, the last segment is what we really came here for. This is your way too early to call it preseason top 4 rankings for college football next year. Go, you going first.
I'm going first, man. I'm going to go. I got Clemson. Woo. I got Clemson number 1.
I knew it.
I actually do got Clemson number 1. I got Ohio State number 2.
True.
I got Bama number 3. And gotta look, but I think I'm gonna take Georgia at number 4.
Ooh, that's hot take. All right, I'm about to shake the game up, bro. You ready?
Yeah.
I got to get myself together real quick. I'm about to break some people's hearts, dog. All right, so number 1, I got Clemson because of what they got returning. They got DJ returning. They got good running backs. They got the number of a top 5-star running back coming back. They got my boy Justin Ross coming back. Let's go.
I was gonna talk about him, man, about the NFL draft if he was to leave, but
no, he's not leaving. He coming back. He already said he's back.
Okay.
We got him back. We got Ngata, Latson. We gonna be locked and loaded with a good team. Galloway, our tight end, came back. DK coming back to get roasted for another year. You know, he get torched every play. Number 1 on Clemson defense. Watch out for him. He's been toasted and roasted more than a marshmallow. Number 2, too early to call it. And these two are interchangeable, Ohio State and Alabama, because I just don't know what Ohio State is going to look like without Justin Fields. So that's my questions are there. I know they're going to have the talent. I know they have the recruiting class, but I just need to see what they look like without Justin Fields. Alabama has a stud quarterback that kind of puts you in the mind of Tua that was there last year. He just didn't get to play. He didn't get to play very much. So I would say they're number 3 or 2, however you want to look at 2A, 2B. And I think my 4th seed, you're not going to want to hear this, my dog. You're not going to want to hear it. Oklahoma with Spencer Rattler. I feel like he finally got his legs up under him. I feel like at the end of the season, that bowl game they had, I think he finally got his legs up under him. We finally got to see him play with some type of heart. He really knows the offense now. That's just my thoughts. There could be somebody else that sneak in there. It could be a West Coast team. I think they're about due to have a good team. It's just me. To me, it's just I'm getting just tired of the same teams over and over again, and it's no parity. You know, they either the big teams knock each other off, but I'm not putting Notre Dame is done for me. They've completely. We can just toss them. Toss Notre Dame for me. They'll never be back in another top 5 for me ever again after the way they crapped the bed this year. And then they stormed the field after they beat Clemson. That really rubbed me the wrong way, but you know it is what it is. So somebody put in a question thing right here. We have a couple different things. So Porter put up Bama, Clemson, Ohio State, and Cincinnati. I was with you until Cincinnati. I just don't know what Cincinnati will have coming back, and if the year will look different because of everybody should be back playing at a regular. So they should be, playing. Everybody should be playing again, and they should have a full season, training camp, and all that to get ready for the season. We got somebody kicking in. My boy Robert Moore. He's also a Ohio State fan. He says okay to that. And then somebody asked the question: LSU will be any good? And to be honest with you, they got some sanctions and stuff going on with LSU, especially with that money situation with Odell Beckham. And they also, some of those guys are getting in trouble for like sexual assault. So we don't know how many of those guys are going to be welcomed back to the team. So that's something to look out for in the offseason. And I guess that's probably all you can say about him right now. Ed Orgeron can get those guys to run through a wall for him, but if he's got none of his players to do it, there'll be nobody running through any walls. Let's see. And then hold on, what else we got? So for you guys who have been watching the whole time, man, we appreciate you being on here. Crow, like this is gonna be our show from now on, buddy. We're gonna be on here.
Yeah, we're gonna keep bringing that heat too.
Yeah,
heat ratio.
So the guy, whoever sent the first question about that person, I'm definitely gonna go back and look him up and let you know. Maybe I'll put up a tweet about it.
Terrence Marshall and
Coleman. Yeah, we'll probably get into the tweets, and we'll get to you guys, letting you guys know what our thoughts are on these guys as we look at some film. I want to break them down anyway, so I probably will do that. And last but not least, so this episode was a college football episode. So next episode, we're probably gonna let's just go college basketball. Let's just do it. We're gonna break down because this year don't look this don't really look like how the college basketball season looked. Like the ACC schools are not in the top 4 or nothing.
Top 10.
We look weird.
It's crazy. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. But it's 2021, so not 2020, 2021. It hasn't looked normal all season. So I mean, I'm looking forward to breaking down some of these teams with you next week, man, and getting into it. You guys stay tuned next week. We're gonna have a lot of good input. Let us know some of the questions you guys have prior to, so maybe we can break down a certain player. Break down a certain team for you guys going forward. And I'm really looking forward to this modified bubble they come up with for the NCAA tournament. So we'll be talking about that next week as well. So you got anything else to add, man, before we get off here?
Nothing else to add. We talking about college, but I see in the comments, go Browns. You already know what's going down this Sunday. Other than that, I don't have nothing else.
Hey, man, listen, guys, if you guys are checking in from all your different places, man, let us know where you're checking in from. If you're Carolina, me and Cromartie both from the Carolinas. He North Carolina, I'm South Carolina. I got a lot of my fan bases in Philly. Got some guys from Ohio. Looks like got a big Ohio following so forth. Somebody in OKC. What's going on, Lee? And we'll stay tuned to you guys next time. Just check in, tap in. You guys can follow us on all your social media outlets. We have all that stuff scrolling down the bottom and also be in the comment section. And I can't wait to go on this journey with you guys. All right, so next time, deuces.